Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with The Witcher. Last time on The Witcher, we started out Season 2 with a grain of truth, where basically, we can sort of divide up the story a bit. So, first off, where the story began was Geralt and Tissaia, who were looking for Yennefer, but they both came to the conclusion that she's gone. Tissaia is working with the other mages, recouping from the battle with Nilfgaard, and they captured a prisoner, Birdman Chew, who wants... Or, no, not that. They are interrogating him, and Tissaia is using all of her magic interrogational powers, which produces crazy, crazy screaming, which is interesting. Meanwhile, Yennefer has been captured by Fringilla and Nilfgaard, and they are on their way back to the Emperor. Yennefer is saying that it's possible that Fringilla wants to sacrifice her in order to try to appease the Emperor, but we're not quite sure what Fringilla is up to, so yeah, there's that. And then at the end, they are attacked by something, and I think most of the troops are killed. But yeah, we don't know what it is, so yeah. Meanwhile, Geralt is starting to figure out how to take care of Ciri, which is interesting. The two of them are just traveling around. They go over some of their options, like, oh, well, we could go to this place. I have allies there. And Geralt is saying, well, you could, but you'd be married off to some random lord who wants your throne. And they eventually decide to go to an old friend of Geralt's, who has become a boar dude due to a curse, and there's a whole thing, and a Bruxa, and they eventually kill the Bruxa. He's cured, and we find out why he actually was cursed in the first place, and it wasn't good. It was a whole big thing, but it kind of gave us our... I don't know if it's just going to be for that episode or if this is going to continue in the season. I imagine it'll continue for the rest of the season. This whole idea of monsters and what constitutes a monster and stuff. But I think what we're going to come down to is it's not are you different, it's are you hurting anyone. That's the thing. You know, Geralt didn't just kill that Bruxa just because she was a Bruxa. It was specifically because she was feeding off of the people in the town. So, yeah. So, interesting stuff. Very, very interesting stuff. And I'm curious to see where we are going for the rest of this season. So, let's just go ahead and jump right into this episode of The Witcher. Here we go.
I was only at the market, yeah.
What the hell?
More than a few. The family we always dreamed of.
Alright, this is a dream. Wait. Second layer. Second layer of the dream. Whoop! Jeez! That child exploded.
Keep him close.
I feel like that was a big reveal. Was that dude from last season?
Built by elves to honor the prophets.
Yeah, I think this is dude that that Geralt talked to last season.
I've never seen so many elves.
I need to see her.
Filavandrel, that was it. Yay! Oh, I'm so glad the subtitles helped.
Do you sing our songs? Do you honor our elders? Have you ever shed a tear over anything elven?
Oh, that's right. She's part elf, isn't it? Isn't she?
You don't need our people anymore, Filavandrel.
Oh no.
Or has the white-robed one visited your dreams too?
Oh, is this the Witcher place?
How many did you say there were?
I didn't.
So,
Last I checked, we were 20.
20 Witchers.
Maybe less.
Whoa. They really are a dying breed. I got this. You son of a bitch.
Where the fuck have you been?
Meh.
We thought you got lost or killed.
Not yet. Sorry.
You got a lot of nerve coming back here after what you pulled.
Finally.
Vesemir. Yeah.
Oh, he's Vesemir. Is he the one in the Nightmare of the Wolf movie? Ah, I should have watched that. Dang it. Oh, someone finally noticed that Geralt brought a girl.
Who the hell are you?
Princess Cirilla of Sintra. Pleasure to meet you.
Ooh, I like that symbol. It's hilarious that nobody questioned her until then. Oh my gosh, look at him go. Oh, it's like the airball fields at the Southern Air Temple.
I brought her here so she'd be safe. It's easier for me to protect her within these walls.
Long enough to watch for answers.
Exactly. Learn who she is, what she is.
Did you dream of someone hidden in a robe?
A black robe. How did you know that?
I've dreamt of one in red. And I hope Maze dreams of one in white.
Shared dreams are a powerful omen.
Wow.
But I'm tucked off for a magical mystery at the moment.
I love how they've immediately figured that out.
We've dreamt of road figures too.
Give away the game, why don't you?
We found something! Close.
Almost.
Very close.
Ah, you almost got him. Ah, you gave away the game too early.
So, is that what we'll be doing here then? Studying monsters.
Yeah.
That looks pretty fun. Yuck. It's like studying the Titans with Hanji.
This is important. We don't kill out of fear. We kill to save lives. Do you understand?
Oh,
I like that.
how did you...
How's your room?
As rats?
That's a good sign.
It means it's
It's one of the
livable.
warm ones.
Nuh. That's a good point, actually.
Let's go. Go to bed.
You're drunk. I mean, why not? Clearly you found these people at the town. Why not stay at the town and do this?
My father, he used to scare us with stories about the witch in the woods. At home, perched on basilisk legs, she would lure the children in to be boiled and eaten.
Wouldn't be the
Yes,
first
Mayak.
time mankind.
First you say it's Ethelyn, and he says it's one of the old gods.
What designs would either have with two humans?
Well, someone's pissed. Whoa. Oh, so it's an Indiana Jones movie now.
What happened to him?
One of the oldest monsters, a demon. Long extinct. She wreaked havoc until the witches bound her deep in the forest. Some say she still calls to the unfortunate souls unlucky enough to cross her woods, lures them in to devour them.
Scary stories don't really work on me.
Nuh. I don't think he was trying to be scary. I think he just told a story.
He was like a father to you, wasn't he? This is your Geralt's.
Something like that.
Nuh.
Geralt said I'd be protected here.
It's hard to do when I don't know who I'm protecting. Or what I'm protecting her from.
Nah. Yeah. We're not sure yet. What the? Is that a house?
A hut with no doors. Turn your front to me. Hut. Hut.
What if this is... That'd be crazy if this was that demon. That's like Monster House.
You were the last surviving Witcher after Kaer Morhen fell. You and a batch of mutated orphans with nowhere else to go. Were you ready?
No.
But you protected us anyway.
No. I told you how to fend for yourselves.
Nuh. Yeah.
Secure the guests. I'll check the wing.
We'll check the perimeter.
Follow me.
Get a move on! Let's go! Move it!
I'll find Cirilla.
No. Do what you do best. Stay and fight.
I mean, yeah. I like this multiple Witchers going out to fight. Did we see another Witcher in season 1? I don't remember. Oh, red robe. White robe. Oh, no robe.
Hello.
Hi.
Don't be scared. I'm here to help you.
Who?
Italy? I knew it.
This doesn't seem right.
The path has been hard.
And the path forward will be harder still. But I can help you.
Nah, this doesn't seem right.
And yet, power. That's what you live for. That's your play. It's for the desperate. You're the desperate one, Yennefer.
You want salvation? Then you're bringing back the wrong.
Oh, okay.
The first pure elf for years.
What must I do?
To see your child live, you must live first amongst men.
Oh. I was gonna say go with Fringilla.
You've felt it since Sodden, haven't you? Or rather, haven't
Felt it.
Oh, she's lost her magic?
Zellilape. 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 You blew it at Sodden. Fire
Blew it like the
Dangerous
Fine Brothers.
magic.
Oh god. Oh, the real one, I think. I assume.
I want your desperation, crisp. You beg me to take it from you. And I will.
Okay. Oh. Is it just a giant plant thing? Oh gosh. That fire beats wood. It's like a Cthulhian Groot. Oh. Maybe you should have kept the torch. Oh, that was a good camera turn. Alright, come on, where are the others?
Thought I could fight it.
You could have told someone. Ooh, okay. Backup has arrived.
Look, witches fight. We run. Go.
I don't know. I mean, if you can get out, but I don't know. Our bitches. Master and the Apprentice. God, I really need to watch that movie. Ooh. Okay, keep him in here. Thank God we have all these chains here.
Let's go. We need time. We can save you.
Ow!
Please, start.
Ugh! What's he doing? Oh! Well, I think he just killed him.
You did what you had had to do.
Jeez, just killed him with whatever that was.
You're going with them.
Francesca claims that the old gods want an alliance between the elves and Nilfgaard. I agreed.
Then you're both fools.
Nah.
Why does she let you go?
Let the desperation fester. And she's gonna be on her own, too. Well, she stayed.
Are you okay?
She stayed put.
Come with me.
When the whores ran, Ciri stayed put.
Vesemir said to me that the world outside these walls is a dangerous place. But times are changing. Even here. Nowhere's safe now.
Let's go.
But you can find power and purpose.
Oh, he's gonna train her.
A chance to survive the horror.
God, poor friggin' Yennefer. It's just sad.
This continent was meant for no one. All you have to do, Ciri, is keep your sword close and keep moving.
Keep moving forward. Oh. I really like that. Seeing the two of them training now. Alrighty. Okay. You know, something interesting that struck me in this episode that I don't think I noticed much last episode or last season. You know, something that's really nice about this show is that even though it's one continuing story, I like how every episode is sort of self-contained, you know? Now, yes, granted, everything here will continue on with, you know, Yennefer being desperate for her powers and having all of that fester, as well as Geralt training Ciri with the sword. All of that, I'm sure, is going to continue, obviously. But just the fact that a lot of this can be contained into this episode, you know? And with the length on this episode, this was 54 minutes. 54 minutes of episode. It honestly, I don't want to say like it's almost like a movie, but I just like, I don't know, it's just more self-contained. And especially when I watch some other shows, you know, some Netflix shows that pop into my mind, Castlevania, the Marvel Netflix shows, even some of the Marvel Disney Plus shows or something, other shows that I will occasionally watch, you can never really pinpoint an episode and be like, yeah, this episode, and like, okay, well, what was the plot of that episode? And you can't just say the plot of that episode, you know? And maybe because I'm more used to like Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, where yes, it is a continuing story, but you do get episodes where it's like every episode has a beginning, middle, and end. And I like that The Witcher does that. And I don't think I noticed that last season, but thinking back on it, there was a lot of that last season, you know? So I like it. You know, last episode was everything with Nevlin. This episode is, you know, meeting the Witchers, you know, fighting Eskel and unfortunately killing him, and everything with Yennefer with the hut and the witch and everything. So, yeah, I don't know. I appreciate that a lot more in a show the more that I think about it, especially especially here, like, I really appreciate that this is one story that, while it continues, it is still a self-contained episode. Like, I'm going to be able to be like, okay, what episode did they go back and meet the other Witchers, and you see, when did they meet the other Witchers, and when did Yennefer talk to the witch? That was season 2, episode 2. So I like that. It's just something that struck me in the middle of this episode, is how contained each episode is while still telling an overall story. Which sounds ridiculous, but I've seen plenty of shows that really don't do that, you know? So, yeah. Anyway. So, interesting stuff. Interesting stuff this episode. Again, we are going to be breaking this up into different, or I guess our sort of 2 different plot lines. The first being Yennefer, the second being Geralt and Ciri. So, I guess we can start with Yennefer's story first. Okay, yeah, I completely forgot about Filavandrel. But yeah, as soon as they showed him, like, I looked at him and I was like, wait a minute, is that the guy? Like, I suddenly remembered last season. And again, another example of that. That was an episode where Geralt met Filavandrel, you know? So that was really, really good. And yeah, so we met the elves. And yeah, I completely forgot the whole thing with the elves, that, you know, this used to be their land and everything. And then they've been slowly killed by the humans, which is interesting. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, that was really, really interesting, and we get to see a bit more. I don't remember a lot of Filavandrel in that episode. Again, I said last episode that I was going to rewatch my reactions. That just didn't happen. So yeah. So I don't fully remember everything from his episode last season, but I do kind of remember, the sort of elves down on their luck and Filavandrel trying to lead them and stuff, but now he's not even leading them. Instead, what was her name? Let me pop it up on IMDb and see what I can find here. That's right, it was Francesca, wasn't it? Yeah. So now... jeez. So now, because she had the vision of the white robe, now she, the white-robed figure, now she is leading the elves, which is interesting. So that was really, really interesting. And then the fact that ties into... it ties into Yennefer and Fringilla as well is very, very interesting. So presumably then last episode, when all the Nilfgaardian soldiers were killed, they were killed by the elves, which is interesting. So the 3 of them had dreams about this, and each one had a different robed figure, basically. And that leads them into this, kind of looks like a tomb almost. And honestly, it looks like an Indiana Jones movie. But leads them into this tomb, and they discover the hut, which is interesting. So let me see. What was the hang on. I was gonna see the name of the god, basically, the god of the elves. Ithlian. No, Ithlian? Ithlian? Okay, hang on. It's, the way it's spelled is Ithlin. I'm gonna go with Ithlin, and if that's wrong, I do apologize. So, we're gonna go with Ithlin on the pronunciation of that. So, okay. So, that was really, really interesting to see that, this hut with no doors and stuff like that. Okay. I feel like it can't be too much of a coincidence. I feel like it can't be a coincidence that Vesemir was talking about. Vesemir was talking about the demon that the first Witchers bound and killed. The one, I forgot his name, but the one Witcher, and they say, you know, that it's this sort of ancient entity. So then immediately cut to the three of them dealing with this witch, you know? So there is the question: is it Ithlin? It's not the White Flame. I mean, they've basically figured out it's not Ithlin, you know? It's not Ithlin, it's not the White Flame. It's not whoever that was. I'm not really sure. Whoever the little girl that Yennefer was seeing. I say little, she's probably close to Ciri's age, honestly. Even she's not a little girl, so, but a child at least, a young teenage girl. But anyway, yeah, I'm not sure like what that was, but yeah, I don't know. Is it a coincidence, or like am I reading too far into it? I feel like I can't. Like, I feel like there can't be any point where you read too far into it with this show. Like, everything, like, it's just impossible to read too far into it. There's gotta be some connection somewhere. So, I almost feel like, I do almost feel like, yes, this is exactly what they were talking about. But, yeah. So, they're all playing on, you know, basically, what do you want? Which is a classic sort of, you know, I mean, you could almost say a monkey's paw sort of thing, or, you know, a genie, you know, what is your wish, but then what, you know, I guess sort of, actually, it's very Full Metal Alchemist now that I think about it, you know, like, these three have seen the truth, and, you know, what do you want, and what will I take, you know, but a bit different. So, with this, they all have their specific things. So, Yennefer is desperate to have her magic back, which is interesting. Again, going into fire magic, which seems to be this taboo. Which, yeah, I mean, I don't remember if they established that or not. Again, I'd have to freaking go back. If I would go back and freaking rewatch my reactions, this is the greatest plug for my own reactions, because honestly, I do kind of need to go back and rewatch my own reactions. Just so that I can start to remember everything. But again, I don't remember them establishing that fire magic is more taboo. But they're definitely like overemphasizing it here, you know? Which is interesting. I do like that. But since using that fire magic, Yennefer has just been depleted of it completely, which is interesting. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, so that's really interesting. Fringilla is looking for an ally for Nilfgaard still, which is interesting. And they're saying, well, perhaps the elves could partner with Nilfgaard. Oh, excuse me, jeez. That's interesting. That is very, very interesting. But I'm curious, like, I don't know. I'm very curious about that because I don't know. Should the elves actually trust the Nilfgaardians? Like, you know, they go through this whole thing of, you know, the Nilfgaardians, they want to liberate the people and stuff like that. And all that sort of, you know, nonsense when you kind of get down to it. A lot of that sort of, you know, exalted military nonsense. And so I'm kind of sitting here thinking, like, okay, well, if they ally, I mean, I'm sure, yeah, the Nilfgaardians would love to ally with the elves so that they do have an ally to take the north. But then there's the question of, would eventually the Nilfgaardians betray them? You know, that's kind of what I'm thinking. So I don't know, like, are we going to get more into that? Because honestly, it seems like they're going to split up now. You know, Yennefer is splitting up from Fringilla, which honestly is a slight shame, like, I don't know where we're going. It's not, I mean, it's not too big of a shame, but it's kind of like, oh, well, I was enjoying the two of them, being together, that was sort of an interesting dynamic, and I kind of want more of that, but yeah, so that's interesting, and I like how they even say, like, there's, Yennefer just says, that was some crazy witch, and Fringilla's just like, yeah, but if I get what I want, Ugh. Which, I mean, you could kind of read into that of, like, well, like with last season when they were going over, like, oh, well, Fringilla's using magic without payment, basically, law of equivalent exchange, I guess. She's doing this stuff without paying a cost, but then her whole thing is she was basically using people in order to do that, which, now that I think about it, would she not have been doing fire magic herself? Maybe? Would she not have? I don't know. I'd have to really think about that too, because that was the thing last season, was she was making like these fireballs basically, but would that not be fire magic, this taboo that apparently Yennefer has also done? I don't know. My hair's starting to stick up a little bit, so I'm trying to calm it down. All right. So yeah, so they're at least desperate for an ally, which is interesting. And then Francesca, interestingly, so she wants a child. She's never been able to have a child. It's never come to term. But this would be the first pure-blooded, pure elf in decades. Which, okay, so we're not talking genetics or anything like that. There's something fantastical about this, this sort of, Messiah, Anakin Skywalker sort of miraculous birth of, of basically somehow it is a pure-blooded elf. Don't know how that works, but okay. And it's interesting because, I mean, honestly, this witch or whatever this is doing the exact same thing on all three of them. It's playing on their wants and their desires and their desperation. But Fringilla and Francesca seem to have already submitted, basically. Whereas she's looking at Yennefer and it's like, okay, you're not quite ready to submit, so I'm going to give you time. I'm going to let this fester, basically. And eventually you will beg me for your magic, So that's really interesting, kind of looking at this, that the two of them, Fringilla and Francesca, they seem to have already just given in, So yeah. So very interesting stuff on that side. On the other side of the plot, we have heading back to the home of the Witchers, Kaer Morhen. I'm vaguely saying that right, I'm sure. That was really interesting, and I love that moment where, Geralt meets with his brothers again, That was really, really cool. And I did like how, like, none of them until Eskel shows up actually, like, takes notice of Ciri. Like, I thought that was kind of funny. That he's the first person to be like, wait, who are you? I don't know you. Wait. So that was really funny. But yeah, we had the whole watching for answers thing. So yeah, that I really like. Geralt is unsure of what, Ciri's powers are or anything like that. So he brought her here, assuming it would be a safe place to keep a watch on her, keep a watch on her powers, figure out what he's dealing with. And I did like that talk where, she's talking to Vesemir, and it's like, well, you're supposed to protect me. Geralt said you would protect me, and he says, I'm not sure what I'm protecting or who I'm protecting her from, Like, they don't know. They're trying to figure it out, And I do love any moments where, Geralt is a bit more father-like, like when it's like, oh, well, I could, make her one of my girls. She would fetch a pretty penny. And he just stops her and just gives her this look like, and he says he's not a father, Like, he is very protective of Ciri, of his little girl, So I do kind of like that. And yeah, this sort of interesting dynamic. I mean, it's this sort of, kind of quasi-fatherly dynamic between Witchers. So you have Geralt and Vesemir, and then his master before him. It's very interesting. It's very... I mean, it's honestly, it's very Jedi-like when you kind of stop and think about it. It just maybe a bit more crude, I suppose, than the Jedi, but yeah, it's sort of that sort of dynamic of a master fatherly, sort of deal. So I like that. And yeah, talking about the older Witchers was very, very interesting, So yeah, and then. And I even like the story with Vesemir, where he was the last surviving Witcher with just a bunch of orphan children, basically, and he made it work. And I like how they say, it's not that he protected them, it's that he taught them how to fend for themselves, So that was really, really good. And then, yeah, we had Eskel, who turned into this, they called it a Leshy, I believe. This crazy plant Leshy monster, which was interesting. And it's also interesting, they were saying if they had more time, they could potentially save him. But it just wasn't going to work out. And so Geralt had to kill him in the end. And yeah, I don't know what he did to that sword, but hey, it worked. So that was interesting. I like that. And not only that, see, now it's interesting, we didn't really show, like, there were like 10 Witchers there, There were like 10 Witchers there, but only Geralt and Vesemir did something, So, but yeah, but it was still cool, seeing the Master and the Apprentice fighting together. Like, I really did enjoy that. And yeah, they ended up killing Eskel in the end, but he did what he had to do. So yeah, so that was all very, very interesting. And now we have Geralt training Ciri how to survive, and I like how he says, I thought that, what I was taught was the world outside these walls is dangerous, only to learn nowhere is safe. You just need to figure out, you just need to keep your sword close and survive. Just keep moving forward, So I like that. That was really good. And I also like at the beginning when Ciri's talking about training and, and taking out Birdman, and I like how Geralt says we don't kill people out of fear, we do it to save people. Like that was really good, just getting a lot of sort of lore and understanding about the Witchers was really good in this episode. And yeah, so they are starting to train, which is pretty cool. And again, I did like, we all the whores leave, and that, which presumably they got out of there fine. But I like that Ciri stayed behind and she put her trust in Geralt. So that was really good. And then also just that jab of like, she found a room, but there are rats in it. And he says, well, good. That means it's a warm room. Like, that's a good point. If the rats are there, that means it's hospitable for life, So I did like that. But yeah, really, really good stuff this episode. Very curious to see where we are going next time. But yeah, that is basically it. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around to any of those. There's a playlist for all of my Witcher reactions, as well as another video you can go click on if you want. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.